Most people think AI is to blame for ruining their brand's voice. It isn't. Their instructions are to blame. Your instructions are to blame. When I'm not on stage or training, I'm a copywriter, and here's an AI prompt I see all the time. Write me something inspiring about change. That is not a prompt, that's making a wish. And when the outcome is bland, you'll blame the tool, or the future, or disruption. But the problem is something else entirely. It's your vague instructions. The other night, my husband asked me to make supper. Now, this was an act of remarkable optimism on his part. We've been married for 18 years, and in that time, I've made maybe 5 suppers. Because no one wants to eat what I cook, especially me. He said, just do something easy. That was the brief. And what I put on the table was technically food. It was leftover fillet, which I'd microwaved, and some slices of fresh cucumber on the side. But he was not impressed. It was not what he'd expected. He looked quite bleak, and he said to me, I know I said just do something easy, but this gray meat, this is too easy. You see, I hadn't seasoned the fillet or dressed the cucumber. It didn't occur to me, because unlike my husband, who lives to eat, I eat purely to live. And something easy means wildly different things to different people. He'd briefed me thinking that I was capable or imaginative enough to use the air fryer, add butter, do all the things. But he was wrong. And that's how brands end up sounding generic. They give vague instructions, the machine follows them, and then they blame the machine for the mediocre outcome. But you are wrong if you think AI or I are going to add seasoning all by ourselves. You would never say to a strategist, just do something smart. You'd brief them, and the brief would probably consist of a couple of specific things. The audience, the context, the constraints, the tone, the outcome, and what happens to the brand if they get it wrong. Now, if you don't brief them, a good strategist knows to ask. I've been doing this 20 years, and I've trained myself to ask and ask and ask until I get what I need to write something smart. AI doesn't do that because it doesn't know what questions matter unless you tell it. Exactly like me in the kitchen. Would you like to see an example? Of course you would. Let's take a look at a vague brief that most brands would give. It would be something like this. Write me an email announcing a change. And unfortunately, the output would look like this. We're excited to announce an important change that will enhance our journey and align us with our future goals. We appreciate your continued support during this transition. Technically, it's fine. Emotionally, it's flat. So here's the same task with a better brief. Write a 150-word internal email announcing a process change that will frustrate people at first. The audience is tired and skeptical. Acknowledge the inconvenience. Don't use corporate phrases. Use plain English. And remember that the goal is compliance without resentment. Now the output changes because we've named the frustration. We've explained the why. And the prompt will generate something that sounds like a human who can read a room. The thinking is what has changed, not the machine. It's the same task, but with a better brief. Let me show you another one. Rewrite this email to sound more professional. You've all done this, so I like the quiet tittering, but you've all done this. No, don't do that, because that will just produce, longer sentences and cold language like herewith and perusal. You know who you are. Here's a better brief. Rewrite this email to a long-standing client after a billing error. The priority is preserving trust, not defending ourselves. Plain English, one apology, no legal tone. Now let's go back to my husband for a sec. He should have known better. He's married to someone who thinks that salt is optional. So there was literally no universe in which I was going to saute or drizzle anything. He briefed me for the outcome he hoped for, not for what matched reality. And this is also what brands do wrong. We brief for the desired outcome and not to match the capability that we're actually working with. So, ladies and gentlemen, the best way for you to successfully differentiate your brand is to get better at giving proper briefs. Because here's the thing, whether unscripted or not, the future will deliver what you ask it for. So don't ask it for something easy and be surprised when you get gray meat with chunks of cucumber on the side. Thank you very much.